Gurur Gurur Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. The verse belongs to the Guru. We will talk about that. Welcome, welcome. I always welcome young people. Once they get the taste of it, they will never suffer what we suffer in the Middle Age and as we are aging. So, we have been talking about the third stage of the life, that is life management for self discovery in the state. Once we are clear, normally what happens, since our childhood, what we think? Parents push us, learn something, go to school. Why you are hanging on with your phone all the time? I'll take your phone, study. So the parents in our house condition us, then the school conditions, then the society conditions. And what is that conditioning? Eat, drink, and be merry. That is the source of all our activities. Can we introduce something? What is behind those desires? Fulfillment. That is what the third stage of the life. If someone introduces that third stage of the life, come on, leave everything, even for 1 hour every day. Leave everything of the world outside and see who am I. Let me find my true nature. The journey begins beautifully. So, in this stage, the first step we say that you should have a teacher or a master or a guru. We use different words. And sometimes people say you should have a man of wisdom that helps you to understand life. And once you start that journey, what is going to happen? When we become old, we start thinking in the same way, how much money I have saved. In US, we talk about, what is social security. We talk about our assets. We are doing the same thing in our life. Do you see that? Even when I'm 80, though I'm looking for those desires which are not fulfilled. I repent on what I did in the past. I compare in the present and I worry for the future. I'm 90 years old and I still worry for the future. What a life we are living. So our master says, teacher is required. But what is this teacher? What is this teacher? See one example. First you believe your eyes, then you see me. Do you need any validation? You don't need any validation. Take it very simple, in a simple way. You believe your eyes, so you see me. The master says, start with this principle of Eastern wisdom and shows you the way to validate by your experience. What it says? There is a true nature inside. That is of the nature of permanent peace and happiness. And then the master shows you how to realize. Third step, we are covering the first step, first of the 4 steps in the third stage of the life. Do you know the one meaning of guru is heavy? Literal meaning of the guru means heavy, weight. My master used to laugh at us and he used to say that you look at my body, how heavy I am. But you don't see how heavy I am with the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. He used to say that, this heaviness is of the knowledge and the wisdom to see the true nature. So, not many people see that heaviness of the knowledge, and every teacher just wants to throw out all the knowledge. Why? Why? Because the more he throws out, the greater the clarity. So, the guru always remains the seeker in the life. First thing. First thing to understand. Second, then he used to say, I told you before also that first I would say 2 or 3 years with my master, I have read all the Upanishads, I have studied the text, so I used to interfere. I was more crazy than you think in my early life. And I'm still a crazy guy. I used to interfere. My master tolerated me for 3 years. Because the master in the Eastern wisdom, they wait patiently and watch how you are evolving. What are those bottlenecks? And after 3 years, one day he patted on my shoulder and said, I'm teaching you what is not written in the text. Do you understand that? And that was the day. For 23 years, I did not speak anything. I only listened to him, contemplated, and next day I came and I said, I have these questions, Master. Can you solve it? We used to have, you can say heated argument. No. But in that way, I said, no, I did not understand. You make me understand. So he said, I teach you what is not written in the text. Now go slowly. We are understanding this entire principle. You should have a teacher who guides you. He means that we cannot understand the text clearly because it is a dead matter. The book is dead. It contains the knowledge, but it is dead. The master makes the text alive and pass on the wisdom, personalizing the knowledge. That is the art. Why? Why that is the art? We will understand. We will understand that. Now question comes. What is the question? Is text more important than the guru, or the guru more important than the text? You see how those masters dealt with every principle so clearly. So I'm coming to what is the name of the third step, which is known as satsang. I will also cover briefly, Lara, about, people talk of initiation. You have heard about initiation, like baptization in the, in the religion. So who is more important, text or master? The knowledge in the text and the master are the two sides of the same coin. Understand that. Are the two sides of the same coin. I'm a physics teacher. I go to the classroom and I said, forget all about Newton, Edison, Einstein. I will teach you what is physics. Will that be a valid knowledge? Just see that. How simple it is. How simple it is to understand that. I go to the chemistry class, forget about all those. Jonathan might be knowing 108 elements discovered by the scientist. I said, no, we have 210 elements. This is my discovery. This is my practice. You do not remain as a teacher. That is what is happening about mindfulness and meditation in our country. That's a popular notion. Everything is good. We don't challenge everyone. Do you understand that? Do you get it? The teacher and the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom written in the text are two sides of the same coin. Now question comes, which comes first? Should I study the text first or should I find the teacher? Another question. Valid question. But question, then find out, can I really find the teacher? If I think that I claim that I can find the teacher, that means I'm living at a higher level of awareness than the teacher. So the conclusion is that I cannot find the teacher. Then what should I do? In a formal education, in a school education system, you can find the teacher. Oh, he's a chemistry professor, he's a physics professor. You can point out. But the knowledge is outside. So what the master says? Master says, Samir, that I have to become a seeker. Seeker on the path. So what it means by seeker? Is there anything beyond this world of pleasure, of power, of possession? Who am I? What is my true nature? I should contemplate and think and find out. The more you go deeper, you become a seeker. And when you become a seeker, the master will appear. They have to appear. Directly or indirectly. Whether you say him or her the master or not. Now, who is a teacher? Who follows the what? Who follows the teaching in the Upanishad, in the teaching in the text of the Eastern wisdom. I told you, if I don't refer Einstein, Edison, and other great scientists who discovered great principles of the physics, then what it means? I'm not a physics teacher. So teacher is bound with compassion, with clear understanding, with the text which contains the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. Are you clear? Then who is the real teacher of physics? That is the first point. Who refers the knowledge? Who is the real teacher of IT? Sergey works in that IT. He says, no, I have a new principle. Forget about all the principles of the IT. It will not work. It will not work. That is what is happening. That is what is happening. This is my meditation. This is your meditation. It will not work. It will work for some time, for getting some money, but it will not work. So that is clear to whom we should meet first. You go and study the text, but check yourself. Are you becoming a seeker? Seeker of your real nature. Then everything will happen. Now, I will talk a little bit about initiation. Initiation means what? Initiation means diksha. Initiation means Diksha. Now, if you find out the meaning of the Diksha, what is that? What is the popular notion of Diksha? In our trade, Stephen, in our trade, you give certain, bead, and you give one mantra, and as a student, you give some money to or the fee. That is a ritualistic tradition of initiation. So, what is the exact meaning of Diksha? So, the first syllable means to give, and the second syllable means to give the knowledge to see the true nature. That is initiation. To give the right knowledge to see my true nature, which is full of peace and happiness. That is the right initiation. The rest initiation, or so-called baptization, has nothing to do with the Eastern wisdom. Diksha, we use the word Diksha. So, Diksha means the master gives the right knowledge to see the reality, gives you the right practice to see the reality, to find the true nature, to end the suffering. That is known as Diksha. We started with we should have a teacher. We understood that the teacher and the text are two sides of the same coin. Who is the teacher of a particular knowledge? Same thing. Who stands by the knowledge that already exists? That means who stands by the text of the Eastern wisdom, and that is common to every profession. Isn't it? What we say, I have created my meditation practice. How can you create? How can? No way. So the teacher sticks to the wisdom, the knowledge of the text. And Diksha means the master or the teacher of the Eastern wisdom always likes to express the way you can see the reality. It inspires your mind to see the world beyond the material world of senses. And that is what we have been doing for a couple of sessions. Now, another word, the teachings. Text or the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom, the master and the seeker, when they all four join together, that process is known as satsang. Sat means truth, sang means company. Company of the truth. I may be giving you hundreds of stories. I may deviate a bit to make the teaching easy and simple, but I return again to the main topic all the time. Do you see that? The teacher never deviates from that teaching. So that whole process is known as satsang, the company of the truth. That is the real meaning. It also means living and working from the real self after the realization. Are you getting it? So you should have a clarity about the teacher. Don't go in search for the teacher. Become a seeker. Wait. It will happen. It has to happen. That is the way the existence works. Now we'll go a little deeper. I'm summarizing, little deeper into the word. One meaning you have had, guru means very heavy. So heavy not by the body, weight, mass, but by the mass of the wisdom. And he always wants to lighten his weight by giving that knowledge. That is why we talk about compassion. But you have to be a seeker to receive the knowledge. Another meaning of the guru, you should contemplate. It will blow your mind. We have 5 elements. Now start with the 5 elements. I talked about how the guru means heavy. Now we will understand how the guru is subtlest. Both meaning applies. Apply the meaning when you are learning from a teacher. Earth element is the lowest. It has all the 5 properties of 5 sense organs. Are you understanding? Water has 4 properties. You can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can touch, but smell is absent. Fire, you can see and hear and touch, but the smell is absent. Air, you can have, feel the temperature, you can feel it, but there is no taste, no smell, no seeing. And space is all pervasive. Do you see that? The more physical the element, it contains more properties. The subtler the element, it contains less properties. Clear? Physical, earth, has all the 5 properties. You can see, hear, feel, taste. But the space is all pervasive. Subtler has the least properties and the physical has more properties. So space as such has no properties. It is all pervasive. It is subtler. What is subtler than the space? Can you think? Subtler than the space is our mind. Because it is the same mind that projects the space and the time. Yeah? We have understood in the physics also. Here, subtler than the space is the mind and the intellect. What is subtler than the mind and the space? What is subtler than the mind and the space? Awareness. So simple to understand. Starting from the earth means any object that I can see, feel, taste, all the 5 sense organs, then going up from the physical to the subtle. Means water, then the fire, then the air, then the space is pervasive. How do I know the space? Through the mind. How do I know the time? By the mind. So the space and time are subtler, but the mind is subtler than the both. Very clear. Understand that? And subtler than the mind and the intellect. I'm skipping a couple of more levels. Master says, the text says, the Eastern wisdom says that subtler than the mind and the intellect is Guru. So Guru is not this physical body. Get rid of this. Guru. So we say Guru Tattva, the Guru element. So we have 5 elements. So we say guru element is subtlest. So when you become a seeker, inside you have a glimpse of that consciousness. It enters into the mind, is attracted towards that subtle element, and then you find the teacher. You start learning, you start rising in consciousness, you start changing your attitude, behavior. That is what the guru is. Are you getting it? Did you get some glimpse of it? I added initiation. So don't go for initiation, who gives you a heavy bead, Rudraksh, and then he says, it costs $150. Everything is okay. They are popular notions. Everything is good, fine. But the real meaning of initiation, are you a seeker? Then you are looking for a knowledge. You are looking for a permanent happiness in your life. Why you want to earn money, Jonathan? Because to buy things. Why you want to buy things? Because I want to live a life. Why you want to live a life? Because I want happiness. Okay. Why you want happiness? For the sake of happiness. There is no other reason. I want peace for the sake of peace. But peace and happiness are my essential nature. That is why there is a thirst for desire of knowledge. And that desire of knowledge comes from the teacher who strictly adheres to the Eastern wisdom. That is how the tradition will continue. Otherwise, the tradition will never continue. But that is a live tradition that continues. So two things. You always ask a question. At the same time, you ask a big questions. What are the big questions? Who the hell I am? What is my true nature? That lives in your mind all the time. And then the teacher teaches, then what happens? It's a 1-minute story, then we'll start practicing. It's a story of a fish and a frog. Very popular in our Eastern West. The frog was living in a well. That is how we live in the world. Oh, I have $1 million in my saving account, checking account. Now there is a coronavirus. Go and find happiness. Can you go on vacation? No, anyhow, I'm not challenging anything. So the frog was jumping all around in the well in the water and says that this is all about the universe and cosmos. It happened that a flood water came. Along with the flood water from an ocean, a fish also entered into the well. Now the conversation started between the fish and the frog. From where you have come? Frog said, I have come from an ocean. So frog jumped about 1 foot in the water. Oh, is your ocean like this? Fish said, no, it's bigger than this. So frog jumped again, 2 feet. Oh, no, it's bigger than that, fish said. That is second stage of our life. Think of it clearly. Think of it. Oh, my honey, I have a problem. Come on, leave all the problems. Leave the blame complaint game. Enter into the third stage of the life. But frog, and the frog was upset. Frog started asking the questions, but fish cannot reply. No, it's a bigger than that. It's a bigger than that. It's a bigger than that. Third stage of life. And it happened again. The flood, water entered into the well, over flooded, and the fish and the frog. These are parables. The story may not be true, but the message is true. That is why it is known as parables. Because you have to point to the truth. So they both entered into an ocean. Now the fish said, "This is an ocean." So frog jumped couple of meters, returned, again jumped, moved into the water, returned. He made all the efforts, returned speechless, thoughtless. Is there any question left? That is awakening. That is the height of meditation. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And close your eyes, looking inside. The stage 1, looking inside, means you are looking inside when the mind and intellect becomes speechless, thoughtless, questionless. Why? Now I know, but I cannot explain. Eyes are closed, looking inside the head or the heart, in the space. Now understand why I repeat again and again and again in every practice the space. To give you a pointer. That guru, that knowledge is subtlest present in you, represented by a physical human form, acts as a guru to realize. And you find the steadiness in the body. Second step of the stage 1 is being comfortable. You see, after listening, the knowledge with absorbing interest changes the direction of the mind. When you learn these principles and reflect on it, once we recognize that pulse, that even having that knowledge intellectually changes the direction of the mind. And you change the direction of the mind, the state of the mind changes. In the stage 1, that's what we do. Look at the neck joint, be there, feel sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Look at the shoulder joints, sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Knee joints, sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. The entire body. Sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Third step of this stage 1, being carefree. Now you understand. What did you understand? That Guru Tattva is a knowledge that is also my real nature, and it is the subtlest. It cannot be found in many physical properties that we experience every day in our life. Means what? That is where comes the thought, enters the mind. You experience you are separate from these thoughts. Feeling, images, past, present, future. That is the way being carefree. And I give it a metaphor, space above, birds flying down. So great master Arvindo says the surface mind has lot of thoughts. Like the water in an ocean on the surface, you have waves due to the wind of a desire. But when you go deep inside the ocean water, you see the water is calm. So there is a separation. Water is the same, being casual, natural. So reflect on water is natural. Always. You have a tsunami, you have a small wave, you have a big wave, whether you jump there or the water is calm, water is water. Existence is existence. That is what I mean by being casual. I'm sowing a seed of the highest principle in the stage one. In the stage two, we will continue to purify the mind. We have started the belly breathing. Look deep inside the belly in the space and look inside the belly in the space. Be cheerful and start breathing short and quick breath from the belly. When you inhale, the belly comes out. When you exhale, the belly goes in like a balloon. Continue. And stop there. Start inhaling deep, silent, slow. Remember, there is no noise during the inhalation. It should take time. Looking inside the forehead, you start humming sound while exhaling should be louder, deeper, and longer. Long, deep, silent inhalation. Inhalation totally silent. Slow, so that your breath rate is very deep. Your breath rate is hardly 2 or 3 breaths in a minute. And if that happens, something beautiful will happen, and that you can sense through your experiences, variety of experiences of tingling, of numbness, of expansion, of heat and of cold, and the vision and the colors. Beautiful. What a beautiful stillness is continuing with everyone. And stop this humming sound, moving into the stage 3 of the Nyasa. Continue with the deep, silent, slow breathing. That is your car. Mind is the driver. And move this. Move the breath inside the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips, or from the fingertips to the shoulder, whichever is you feel comfortable. So, what is the highway? Highway is the space and the darkness and emptiness inside the right arm. What we are doing? We are bypassing, transcending the physical world. So, the breath, not a part of the physical world, of solid. You see, I explained about the earth and then water and the fire. You see, logic, reasoning is always there. So the space inside is the highway, the breath is your car, and the mind is the driver moving inside the right arm. When you exhale, you can move the mind with the breath from the shoulder to the fingertips or from the fingers to the shoulder. But the mind is picking up an object subtler than the physical world. What are you doing? Are you not doing pratyahara? Many people know of yoga. Not withdrawing the mind inside? Yes. Now moving inside the left arm. Same thing. So, what is important? Three-pointed awareness. First point, the mind, awareness, and attention. Second, syncing it with the breath. What is the nature of the breath? Deep, silent, slow. Where the breath and the mind is moving? On the highway, in the space, inside the left arm. I don't remember the name of a scientist who said if you remove the space from the 6 feet body of a human being, that human body will be reduced and will become like a shape of a matchbox. That much space? My goodness. I'm not saying. Now moving the mind inside the right leg. In the space with the breath, and the mind is a driver, known as nyasa. Nyasa also means freedom. So, freedom from what? That causes pain and the suffering. Beautiful. I appreciate it. Now, inside the left leg, and now inside the spine. During inhalation, the mind moves from the crown of the head in the spine in the space reaches to the tailbone. And when you exhale, the mind rises from the tailbone to the crown of the head in the space. Mind looking at the space and again different objects enters into the mind. No worries. That is why we are doing a regular practice to reach to a higher state. Consciously understanding these principles one after the other. And now leave this step. Whatever is left in the mind, we will enter into the stage 4 and remove that by superimposing Om Shanti. Looking deep inside the head in the space, any thought, feeling, amazes appears, superimpose Om Shanti. And I already explained, of which you are familiar. Simple. I come to your house and you ask me, what's your name? I say Om Shanti. Where are you going? Om Shanti. Why you have come? Om Shanti. Which car you have? Om Shanti. So for every thought that enters into the mind at this stage, you treat it with respect and love and you simply drop Om Shanti. Superimpose. Means what? And if I continue to say Om Shanti, what you will say in the leave, leave. I don't want to talk to you. So your mind calms down. It withdraws itself. That is what this step is. Superimpose Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Now leave this step also. We'll move into the stage 5. I introduced it, and we have to follow this step in a very calmer state. Bring your awareness on the crown of the head, little inside the crown of the head. First, become aware of the entire space, infinite space, and then dive into that space with one mentally and wait like a frog. That's why I narrated that story. Yes, the mind again carried away by the experiences. No worries. Bring it inside the forehead. Become aware of the space and dive by saying Om. So you are diving and waiting, diving by Om deep inside the space, deep inside the space. Then inside the heart, remember you are fully aware. So you are looking into the space and dive into the space with inside the belly button, the same. And return to the last stage with a three-pointed awareness of the breath. The breath is going in and out, you know it. You're not doing anything. That you, the ego in the intellect is absent. There is a pure awareness in the three-pointed awareness of the breath, and there is a feeling, sensation, and no change. Doing nothing, remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. Water does nothing. Existence. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences. Bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences briefly to enrich others. How are you, Lara?
I am good. It was interesting. I would go deep and then I'd get back up in the surface, like where the waves are, and then go back down again. So there was a little bit of a play with that happening today.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But at least you recognize that you are going deeper.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was much like, it was easier to go in quicker.
Very
it was
good.
quieter. Yeah. And then it would come up and something funny would happen.
It's a beautiful, yeah, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
Remember, Guru is heavy, Guru is subtlest, and then you can easily explain. Guru means moving from ignorance to wisdom. See that? So if you don't have a reference and we say moving from ignorance to wisdom, that doesn't make any meaning. How are you, Terry?
I'm okay. I think I was maybe to the second to last stage. I was at my best point, and then I became more aware of the room again. But at one point, this is weird, but I felt like I was upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also a good experience, upside down. That is all about the prana that brings those experiences. So there are something happening in the prana. You see, my friends, that when I met Terry in the New York city, I don't know, that I cannot tell you. I tell you, uh, there was something happened to me, and I saw in her a seeker. So when you are a seeker, I went to her house from my New Jersey, and I used to spend 3 hours. I used to guide her 3 hours of meditation, no talking, when she had those challenges. So something happens in you. So it is the heaviest. There is no I factor is present while giving and receiving the knowledge in the seeker and the teacher. Then every time something beautiful happens. That is the beauty of this journey. Outside, we can say, I have 1 million followers, not a single seeker. Buddha did not claim that I have 50 million followers. I am the New York bestseller of Dhammapad. I write for myself. If you are benefited, good. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very good. I'm in a very mellow state right now. I went extreme. I believe I was very still and went very deep. The only thing that existed was complete darkness and your voice from start to
So
finish.
beautiful experience. That gives an idea of transcending the body and the mind.
Yep.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
It
So
all comes
thank you.
from
Thank you.
blessings of my master. How are you, Jonathan?
I'm good. I I had a fairly deep experience. I think I had a deep experience today. It felt sort of the sensation I felt at its best was sort of a like zooming in. I don't know if it's zooming in or if it's just like a heightened awareness of
That's the right word.
yeah, and I was becoming like very close to the experience.
Good.
So it was a very good experience. I think there were still times where I would become aware of my surroundings, whether it was by noise or, but it was very easy to sort of come back into the
That's
practice.
really good. You see, that's what I've been telling. Youngers can easily switch on to the third stage of the life. As we start our, we life, the algae deposits in the mind related to personal, professional, social life. They cover that water of the mind. I always love, once you younger starts learning with understanding. Wonderful, Jonathan. How are you, David and Jerry?
It was a very deep meditation for me, and I kind of felt like the frog or the fish getting back into the ocean. I really had an awareness of the amount of space that I was able to get into, unlike ever before. It was really fabulous.
Beautiful. I think that's a sign of the progress. You see that? Sometimes these parable works at its best. So we have hundreds of parables in Upanishads, in the ancient texts, and they convey the masses. The mind conceives, reflects, and it is there. Wonderful. How are you, Jerry?
Good, thank you. A lot of stillness too, and I really appreciated I thought I was still, but I appreciated the depth when we got to the ohms, because when I got to the ohms, it just was dark.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah,
So happy. Very happy. How are you, Sergey?
Going deeper, deeper and deeper, then shut it down. Then somewhere in the middle, I just like waking up and oh, I'm still here.
Yes,
otherwise it's good.
Good, changing. You're picking up and you have started late, but you're picking up very, very fast. You see the triangle, equilateral triangle, facing upward? It is a representation of a Shiva. I'm not going deeper, but I'm explaining you. So that top of the triangle facing upward is the knowledge. Our real self is of the nature of a knowledge. Now come to the surface. So this surface, one side is a seeker, the other side is a guru. Guru knows, seeker does not know. So what's the seeker has to do? So Guru always teaches with reference to that knowledge. He sees it. Seeker does not see what the seeker has to do. That is this step. Now see, David, when we see the equilateral triangle facing upward, is a geometrical figure known as yantra that represents Shiva. And when you face it downward, that represents Shakti. I will come back gradually and slowly to the colors and the visions, Let us wait. So any questions? Any questions?